The Law Challenge. And we begin the first round, and this is the general round. In this round, you'll have 5 questions, and you'll be given 30 seconds to answer a question. There will be only 2 attempts to a major question. If you answer correctly, you'll be awarded 3 points for that correct answer. But if you get it wrong, it will be passed on for a bonus mark of 1 to be answered within 15 seconds. Gentlemen, please get ready for the very first round. And I begin with the King's University College Faculty of Law. Mention 2 enactments, laws that have been repealed by the new and famous Land Act 2020, Act 1033. 2 legislations that have been repealed by that law.
The Land Title Registration Act.
And you have been bailed out. Land Title Registration Act is correct, but I need 2 of them. What that means is that you are unable to attract the full 3 marks. I will award you 1.5 mark. KAAF University College Faculty of Law. You are also familiar with the Land Act 2020, Act 1036, not so? Please mention 2 acts or 2 legislations that have been repealed by the coming into force of the Land Act 2020.
Okay, so we have the Conveyancing Decree, and then the Head of Family Accountability Act.
The Conveyancing Decree, you can call it the Conveyancing Act. And you said what? Head of Family
Accountability Act.
Accountability Act. I do not know about the Head of Family Accountability Act. I know about the Land Registry Act, the Administration of Lands Act, the State Lands Act, Land Title Registration Act, as they mentioned, Farmlands Protection Act, Land Development Protection and Purchases Act, Section 11 of the Survey Act, Public Lands Protection Act, NRCD 240. Therefore, in the circumstances, I'll also award you half mark for the Conveyancing Decree that you mentioned, which is the same as the Conveyancing Acts. Now to you, King's University College. Article 88. You're very familiar with it, are you not? Clause 1 of the 1992 Constitution provides that there shall be an Attorney General of Ghana who shall be a Minister of State. State 2 main functions performed by the Attorney General as provided in Article 88 in question. 2 main functions.
Attorney General is responsible for all criminal proceedings, and he is also every civil action which is initiated against the state is also initiated at his suit.
And that is correct. In the same vein, I will require of the KAAF University College to give me at least 2 of the functions as prescribed in Article 88 for the Attorney General?
Advisor to the President of the government, and then they are also in charge through the drafting division and the drafting of bills for passage into acts.
Once again, I'm not particularly excited about the couching of the answer, but I will give you 2 out of the 3 marks. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our contestants. The Attorney General, according to Article 88, shall discharge such duties of legal nature as may be assigned by the President or imposed on him by the 1992 Constitution or any other law. The Attorney General is responsible for the initiation and conduct of all prosecutions of criminal offenses. The Attorney General is responsible for the institution and conduct of all civil cases on behalf of the state. If you listen to your answer correctly, there was some slip in there. All civil proceedings against the state shall be instituted against the Attorney General as the defendant, and the Attorney General shall be the principal advisor to the government. Now, this will be your question, correct? It's your turn? Okay. Yes, it's your turn. The general principle is that a person who lends money to a minor cannot recover that money at common law. That's correct. But the one who lends that money can, in equity, recover part of the loan which was actually used by the minor to purchase necessaries. In view of this rule, and of the fact that many university students in Ghana eligible to participate in National Student Loan Scheme may be likely to be below the age 21, the Ghanaian legislature made provision to cater for this situation. What does Section 2.3 of the Ghana of the Students' Loan Scheme Law, 1992, say? Section 2.3 of the Students' Loan Scheme Law, 1992. PNDCL 276. What does it say?
So the law provides that anybody who comes for loan will be deemed to have attained the age of 21, and therefore an action or the loan can be recovered from that person.
And that is correct. You are deemed conclusively and treated as a person of full age, whether you are in fact of full age or not. Now to you, KAAF University College Faculty of Law. What is the distinction between the common law position on part payment of debt and Section 8.2 of the Contract Act 1960, Act 25?
Okay, so at common law, a promise to waive the full debt on grounds of part payment is not binding in the absence of fresh consideration. But Section 8.2 of the Act 20 has reversed that position. Act 25 has reversed that position, in that a promise to waive the debt through part payment of the debt is binding, even in the absence of fresh consideration.
And that is also comprehensive. Thank you very much. Now, to you, King's University College. We have just not too long ago spoken about Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution. What does it say are the sources of law in Ghana? Mention two sources of law in Ghana as provided for in the Constitution of Ghana.
Okay, so Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution, precisely Clause 1, it states that the sources of the laws of Ghana shall comprise of the Constitution and also the common law.
And also the common law.
Ghana. The common law of Ghana.
The common law
Of Ghana.
Be sure of what you want to say.
The common law of Ghana.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for him. You are right to state the common law. You do not need to embellish it or qualify it in any other form. The law challenge. And so, KAAF University College Faculty of Law, the same applies to you, as you may have seen me do in the last few minutes.
Okay.
What are the sources of law in Ghana as provided in the Constitution in Article 11? Give us two.
Okay, so enactments made by Parliament under the authority of the Constitution. Then we have existing laws.
Thank you very much. That is also correct. The existing law or written and unwritten laws of Ghana that existed immediately before the coming into force of the 1992 Constitution, or enactments made by or under the authority of the Parliament established by the Constitution, and as delivered by King's University College, also the Constitution itself, and the common law. The common law. Simply the common law. Or the English common law. English doctrines of equity and the rules of common law. We also have any others, rules and regulations made by any person or authority under a power conferred by the Constitution, and we're talking about subsidiary or subordinate legislation. Now, gentlemen, to your very final question, and that should go to King's University College. How is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana appointed according to Article 144, Clause 1 of the Constitution of Ghana?
So the Chief Justice is appointed by the President in consultation with the Council of State with approval of Parliament.
And that is correct. And your final question, KAAF University College. In the case of an agreement entered between a husband and wife, you know where we are getting to, don't you? In the domestic setting, it is generally presumed that there is no intention to create legal relations between them. That is the couple. Therefore, such agreements are usually not enforceable in a court of law. And for the education of our audience also, that is the law. What is the exception to this rule?
Yes. So the exception to this is when the agreement entered into between the husband and wife is done by way of business or with a commercial flavor.
Or also when they are not living in amity.
And that is also correct. Thank you very much. A round of applause for them. The presumption that legal relations are not intended between spouses does not apply where the spouses are not living together. If you are not living together, it will apply. In amity, that is where they are divorced, where they are separated, or they are about to be separated. But when everything is fine and you are in your cozy moments, those things will not amount to create a legal relationship. And I suppose that is where we draw the curtains on this first round of the contest between the King's University, the King's University College, and the KAAF University College Faculties of Law. A round of applause for them. At the end of the first round, King's University made a total of 13.5 points, as against KAAF University 12.5 points. A round of applause for them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the second round, which is the buzzer round. We will still deal with criminal law, torts, Ghana legal system, but in this circumstance, there will be 6 questions. And you'll be required to press the buzzer right in front of you to give an indication that you are ready with the answer. And you are doing that in 30 seconds. So, King's University, how does your buzzer sound? Thank you. And KAAF University, thank you very much. If you answer correctly, you'll be awarded 3 marks. And for every incorrect answer, you get into trouble, getting 1 mark deducted. There will be only 1 attempt to a question. If a team presses the buzzer before the question is over, they will be asked to answer it without the question being completed. Where a team presses the buzzer but fails to answer the question correctly, the opposing team will have the opportunity to press the buzzer to answer the question within 30 seconds if ready to answer. So you may call it the fastest fingers. So I wish you good luck, both teams. Now, here we go with our very first question. I was initially signed by states such as Denchera. Yes.
44.
Bond of 1844. Thank you very much. I was initially signed by states such as Denchera, Ebura, Asin, Pomadze, Dominase, Anomabo, and Cape Coast. Later, other states like Gomoa, Asikuma, Insaba, Wassa, Amenfi, Wassa Fiase, Infuma, and Jamestown joined to sign. I formed the historical foundation of the Ghana legal system, and under which the British promised protection to the signatories in the event of aggression from the Ashantis. I am the bond of 1844. And here is your next question or issue. I'm being described by many as a promise or set of promises. Yes, King's University.
Contract.
That's correct. Contract. I'm being described by many as a promise or set of promises which the law will enforce. Others describe me as a promise or a set of promises for the breach of which the law gives a remedy, or the performance of which the law in some way recognizes a duty. I am contracts. To issue 3, and pay attention, please. I am the statements, promises, or propositions. Yes, I
Terms
heard
of
first
contract.
from
Terms of contract.
Terms of contract.
terms of contract, and that is correct. Or propositions which form part of the contract and which define the respective rights and obligations assumed by the parties under the contract. I form an integral part of a contract, and when I am breached, the innocent party will be entitled to sue for damages. I am terms of contracts. To issue 4, KAAF and King's University colleges, please pay attention. I am a rule, and I simply state that willing self-exposure to injury, yes,
Volunteer non-fit injury.
volunteer non-fit injuria rule. I simply state that willing self-exposure to injury or loss or risks releases others from the duty of care, which would normally devolve upon them, provided willingness is genuine. Now, gentlemen, to the next issue. I am a deliberate act. By an agent who has authority, yes, KAAF University.
Vicarious liability.
By an agent who has authority to inflict pain or unpleasant consequences on an offender for an offense. Who am I?
The police.
Incorrect. And remember, you have only one attempt. Punishment. Punishment. Finally, please pay attention again. I'm a principal in criminal law. Nobody is pressing. And this principle, which I am, is to the effect that no person should be punished for an act. Yes, KAAF University.
The double jeopardy rule.
No person should be punished for an act which at the time he was engaging in was not prescribed as a crime with a spelled out punishment.
Nulla pena sine lege.
Which means
No person should be punished except for a stated offense which the punishment has been prescribed.
the principle of legality. That is who I am, and that is a good attempt. Thank you very much. A round of applause for them. At the end of the second round of this contest between KAAF University and King's University, KAAF University managed a single point as against King's University making 11 points. A round of applause for our contestants. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to our third round. This is the round of profound quotes and the identification of personalities within the legal fraternity. You will have 3 major quotations, and you are supposed to identify who must be speaking and perhaps in which case the person was making the statement. You do that in 30 seconds. And then, if you answer correctly, you get plenty marks. 10 marks will be awarded. There are, however, 5 marks for a partial answer. There will be only 2 attempts to each question. There is no negative scoring for incorrect answer. And each team will be given an opportunity to identify one personality within the legal fraternity. This is the non-transferable round, so the questions are not transferable. Please pay attention. And this time, KAAF University College Faculty of Law. In which case was the above contention made? And here is the contention. Just identify which case we will find it in. The National Liberation Council, being sovereign, could do everything except turn a man into a woman and vice versa.
In the case of Shalabi versus Attorney General.
And that is correct. Shalabi versus Attorney General. In fact, we would have punished you if you got it wrong. Now, King's University College. Who is speaking and in which case? The jurisdiction conferred on us by Article 2(1) and 131 is to make pronouncements that would contribute to making our country not only a democracy, but one governed by law, a country in which the rights of citizens are respected. Who is speaking and in which case? That's not correct. Will you be surprised to know that it's a popular case not too long ago? Not giving you any ideas. You have one more attempt. I'm sorry, that is also incorrect. Not Asari versus Attorney General. Did you have any ideas, KAAF University? Me, no. You didn't. In the audience, anybody new or knows? There was a cattle wrestler who brought trouble to an MP in this country and got the MP into jail. Sumaila Bill versus Adamu Dramani Sakande and another. And that was Justice Badegbe, JSC, speaking. Now pay attention, KAAF University. Who is speaking? And I think you have been fortunate. Who is speaking? The Constitution, being the fundamental law, must be interpreted not according to the intentions of the framers, but according to the conditions which are necessary to carry into effect its objectives and purpose.
Azukrab.
And that is correct. Azukrab, JSC. This is what you are going to do. King's University College. Tell us who is speaking or which case is involved here. In my view, even though Parliament has the right to legislate, this right is not without limit. and the right to enact a law that 4th June and 31st December should be declared public holidays cannot be left to linger in the realm of public policy. Such legislation must be within the parameters of the powers conferred on the legislature and under Article 1, Clause 2 of the Constitution, 1992. Any law found to be inconsistent with any provision of the Constitution, that's the supreme law, shall to the extent of such inconsistency be void. Kindly identify who is speaking or which case is in contention.
So this was in the case of New Patriotic Party versus Attorney General.
And that is correct. Thank you very much. In which case was this statement made and by whom? Here is the statement. The courts must, before disturbing a respondent's legal rights or stripping him of any of the rights with which the law has clothed him, be satisfied that the probability is in favor of his case, ultimately failing in the final issue of the substantive suits. Who is speaking and in which case?
Please, can we get a quote once more?
The court must, before disturbing a respondent's legal rights or stripping him of any of the rights with which the law has clothed him, be satisfied that the probability is in favor of his case, ultimately failing in the final issue of the substantive suits.
Did you say it was Attorney General?
That's not correct. The opportunity exists until you are bailed out.
Give me what? Let's talk something. I don't want to.
Did you have an idea? Not at all? Any member of the audience? So that was in Punjabi Brothers versus Namen. And this was by Sarkodie Ado J. Now to your final quotation. King's University College. This is a famous dictum. Who made it, and in which case? Now, equity is no part of the law, but a moral virtue, which qualifies, moderates, and reforms the vigor, hardness, and edge of the law, and is a universal truth. Equity, therefore, does not destroy the law, nor create it, but assist it. Who is speaking, and in which case?
So the case is Dudley versus Dudley. And the judge is Lord Camden.
You're right about who is speaking. You're right about which case, but not who is speaking. Lord Cowper in Dudley versus Dudley, 1705. Thank you all very much. Now, let's get to the business of identifying these personalities within the legal fraternity. I begin with you, the King's University College. Please Identify this image in your shot.
Clemens Jackson Honyonega.
And that is correct. His Lordship, Justice Clemens Jackson Honyenuga of the Supreme Court of Ghana. It's the turn of KAAF University College Faculty of Law. Who do you see on your screen?
Justice Yoni Kolendi.
His Lordship Justice Emmanuel Yoni Kolendi of the Supreme Court of Ghana. A round of applause for our contestants. Job well done. And that brings us to the end of the third round of the contest between King's University and the KAAF University. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the third round, KAAF University made 30 points as against King's University's 25 points. A round of applause for the contestants. Now let's get into the very final round in this competition, which is the rapid fire round. You will be asked to nominate one of you to be the captain to lead you in this round. There will be 10 questions asked each team. You have to answer them within 120 seconds. There will be 3 marks for each correct answer. You may decide to skip a question if the answer is not readily available, so that you can return to it later when the bell has not rung because you have not exhausted your 120 seconds. King's University. And this is where we start. The customary law pledges have been modified by the Mortgages Amendment Decree 1979, AFRCD 37. True or false?
False.
That is true. A valid alienation of a stool property is one done only by the occupant of the stool and the linguists. True or false?
False.
That certainly is false. Obiter dictum may have a very persuasive effect, especially when they are made by the highest court in the hierarchy of courts, but a later court is bound to follow them. True or false?
False.
That is false. The fundamental principle of criminal procedure in Ghana is that it is accusatorial or adversarial in nature as opposed to inquisitorial. True or false?
True.
That is true. In a criminal trial, if the accused, when called upon to plead, refuses to plead, the court may, if it thinks fit, order a plea of not guilty to be entered on his behalf. True or false?
True.
That is true. The appointment of a person as head of a family is automatic, and it devolves on any person as a matter of right. True or false?
False.
That is false. Trespass to land is actionable on the case. True or false?
True.
False. Defamation consists of the twin torts of libel and slander. True or false?
True.
True. The Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, was first enacted in 1892. True or false?
True.
That is true. Citizenship is man's basic right, for it is nothing less than the right to have rights. This statement was made by Hayfron Benjamin in Shalaby vs. Attorney General. True or false?
False.
It's true. Now let's turn our attention to KAAF University College Faculty of Law. Here we go. In the case of R versus Ball Street's Magistrate, ex parte Pinochet, number 2, it was held that the rules of natural justice are engraved in tablets of stone. True or false?
True.
False. In Ghana, the office of the ombudsman was first created in 1969. True or false?
It's false.
It's true. The directive principles of state policy is found in Chapter 6 of the 1992 Constitution. True or false?
True.
True. Article 88 of the 1992 Constitution deals with the Attorney General. True or false?
True.
True. Section 10 of the Limitation Act provides that a person shall not bring an action to recover a land after the expiration of 16 years from the date on which the right of action accrued. True or false?
False.
False. Investing. The allodial title is completely extinguished. True or false?
Please say again.
Investing. The allodial title is completely extinguished. True or false?
False.
False. Trespass to land is not actionable per se. True or false?
False.
False. Land granted to a family member by the family cannot be taken back without his knowledge. True or false?
It's true.
True. Article 277 of the 1992 Constitution defines a chief. True or false?
True.
True. The father of modern day representative democracy is John Locke. True or false?
True. True.
True. A round of applause for KAAF University. It's been tight. The Lord challenge. The Lord challenge. And at the end of the fourth and final round, KAAF University, 24 points, as against Kings, 21 points. A round of applause for our contestants. And cumulatively, at this very final round, KAAF University has 67.5 points, whilst King's University has 70.5 points. It is therefore incontestable that King's University emerge the winners of this contest. A round of applause for King's University. And of course, for KAAF University for putting up such a spirited fight. Please, a round of applause for them as well. On that note, we thank you very much for joining us for the Law Challenge today. Thank you very much.